obstacles by the force of our applied imagination. And how many of us use it, huh? Very few. I tell you, even when bodies go out of whack, heightened creative effort may be as helpful as surgery or drugs. Betsy Barton is one source for this statement. Through her early years, she was light-hearted, light-footed, and full of fun. Then, in her early teens, riding home with her brother one evening, her car overturned, and she was maimed. After several operations by the world's best surgeons, she was told that her spinal cord had been severed and could not be respliced. It was almost as hard for her to walk as if she had no legs at all. But by exercise and courage, she at last made herself walk well enough to demonstrate to returning legless veterans how they too could walk again. Today she's a charming, cheerful doer of great and good deeds. Now, apart from exercise, it was creative activity, above all else, which enabled this fine woman to remake her life. She heroically fanned her creative spark until it flamed with a health-giving heat. And for one who had never thought she could write, she became a truly great writer, as her new novel has so eloquently proved. For one who had done no art except little girl scribbles, she learned to paint like a professional. Betsy Barton has pointed out that many a creative great has been diseased or handicapped. Keats is the most famous, she says, but Thomas Mann and Noel Coward have never been fully well. Catherine Mansfield, Emerson, Thoreau were all sickly. Hausman said he did his best work when he fell ill. So Alex Osborne asked her, but instead of being any richer in talent while unwell, could it be that those writers instinctively sought to forget their ills by losing themselves in supreme effort? Couldn't they actually make themselves feel better by acquiring the glow that comes from thinking of something worthwhile? And she said yes. We all know the sense of well-being that flows from just having an idea and putting it into words or action. Even by writing an amusing letter, we can add a spark to our daily lives. She said there is no question but that the more we try to create, the better we feel. And this holds true with both the well and the unwell. You know, it's a funny thing, but to most people, work and fun can never be synonymous. But the fact is that creative work can be fun. By and large, no people enjoy their toil as much as those who deal in ideas. Did you know that? They enjoy their work more than anybody else. Movie makers, authors, artists, advertising men, reporters, stylists, creative researchers are prone to gripe that stomach ulcers are the wound stripes of their professions. But at heart they know that although necessity is often the mother of creative effort, fun is often the father. People can get more fun out of life by making more of their imaginations, but creative effort offers still another compensation. A person can make himself grow by making his creative spark glow. Building one's own stature by heightening one's creative energy is, as Phelan said, like lifting yourself up by your bootstraps. But as Joseph Jastrow has written, strange as this seems, there is plenty of proof that it is really so. Yes, the more creative you are, the more of a person you become. The more you rub your creative lamp, the more alive you feel, and the more alive will be everyone with whom you come in contact. Your children, your husband, your wife, your friends and relatives. Of course, the cash rewards of creative effort are plenty, and there's plenty to go around. But the more frequent and more fruitful rewards come in the coin of happier living. And who could ask for anything more than that, huh? Especially in our earlier years, all of us possess a creative urge. Now, when this yin has too little outlet, frustration sets in, and such frustration undermines happiness. Our talents are constantly craving outlet. More than that, they're constantly craving development. When we dam them up, they torment us. Thus, the cause of our discontent can often be traced to failure to exercise our creative aptitudes. Did you know that all of us are born with creative talent? It's true. Altogether too much emphasis has been placed on this routine, this old hogwash about people being born to be a certain way, being born to be poor, or being born to be this, or being born to be that. That's nothing but a bunch of swill. A person can become just about what he wants to become. All of us are blessed with some degree of imagination, even when it comes to art. Creativity is no rarity. And imaginative power bears but little relationship to schooling, as illustrated by the story about the Texas cattleman. This Texas cattle raiser saw an Illinois car approaching his home. So he dashed into the kitchen to his cook and he said, "A big packer from up north is coming in. When I was in Chicago, I boasted to him that we have a bull here on the ranch that races the Sunset Limited 25 miles across our ranch every morning and always wins." The man wanted to see the critter, and now he's here. You've got to handle him. I've gone away. Well, he just sneaked out. So the cook went to the front and greeted the visitor with the explanation that his boss had just left for New Orleans, then to Jacksonville and Atlanta, then to New York, then to Toronto, then to Cleveland and Cincinnati, on the way to Chicago, then St. Louis, then to Denver, then to Seattle, then home after a visit in Hollywood. So the Illinois visitor said, "Wow, what a trip." He says, "How long before you'll be back?" So the cook says, 2 days. He said, 2 days? How's he traveling, in a jet plane? And the cook said, "No, sir. He's riding bareback. He's riding on that fast-running bull of his." Well, that's creative imagination. To be a problem solver, we do not have to have the talent of a genius such as Leonardo da Vinci. Called the most versatile human being who ever lived, he gave birth to thousands of brain children. Many of his ideas were 500 years ahead of his time. Did you know, for example, that 500 years ago, over 500 years ago, Leonardo da Vinci invented in his mind a self-driven automobile, various gear combinations, roller bearings, air conditioning, excavating machines, hydraulic tools, airplanes, helicopters, submarines. He also created masterpieces of sculpture, painting, music, and architecture. But we shouldn't let a record like that stop us from trying to be more creative in lesser ways. The least we should say to ourselves is that if Da Vinci could do that much, surely we can put our creative talent to a greater use than we do. In the words of Lord Macaulay, the imaginations of most of us are like the wings of an ostrich. They enable us to run, though not to soar. But many of us don't even walk. We either stand still creatively, or worse than that, we slide back from an imaginative childhood into a non-creative adulthood. Gustave Flaubert said, "Talent is our affair. We can shrivel it through disuse, or we can build it up by practicing creativity, by solving problems, by using our leisure in ways that will exercise our imagination until we become happy, vital, intelligent people."